What's going on, everyone? Welcome to my very first episode of my brand new show, Loading. I am so excited to be bringing this to you. I'm also so incredibly nervous to be bringing this to you. Full transparency, second attempt at starting my first episode, starting this podcast. It's hard talking to yourself, being the only one on here. That's why every other episode is going to have incredible guests on it. But before I get started explaining the show, I want to take a minute to thank everyone for the incredible encouragement, the incredible support for me wanting to start this. Everyone that I've told about it has been so incredibly kind and generous, uplifting, which, I mean, I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for all that encouragement. I was encouraged to create a video by my manager / life coach, Diane. Thank you, Diane, for pushing me to step outside my comfort zone and do that. But when I did it, I wasn't sure I was going to post it. I just went to the podcast studio because I wanted to check it out. Got challenged to record something. When I recorded it, I thought, this is pretty good. This might benefit some people if they want to hear it. You never know. Get that response. Just hear what people have to say, and maybe you start the podcast full time. So when I posted it, I was blown away and overwhelmed by the incredible positive feedback I got from so many people. It honestly, just thinking about it still blows me away. I'm so thankful for everyone who decided to uplift, and I hope I do you proud by making this a good show for you to listen to. And in addition to all the incredible response I got from that video, I wouldn't have recorded that video if it wasn't for Diane. So thank you for pushing me to make that video. Even though I just wanted to come in here, check out the studio, just see what it was about, maybe do something down the line, but push me to get out of my comfort zone, to record a video, even though I didn't have to post it. I watched the video and I just felt that it was something people needed to hear, which would help in turn push me to start the podcast full time, something I've wanted to do. So even though I'm incredibly nervous about it, I'm even more excited. So yeah, thank you, Diane, because I wouldn't be here starting this podcast if it wasn't for you. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And like I said, there's going to be guests, incredible guests on every episode other than this one. This one's going to be a little bit of background on me. But yeah, every other episode after this is going to have awesome guests that can provide their insight, their value when it comes to the world of business, self-improvement, your mindset, whatever it may be. That is the goal for this. The goal for this show is to bring value, provide inspiration to so many people who you never know where people are at in life. You might be feeling stuck. You might be feeling lost. You might not know where to get started. You feel like you're enjoying your job, but you're not passionate about it. So maybe this provides a little inspiration for you to step outside that comfort zone, go do what you're truly passionate about and what makes you happy, because I am passionate about this podcast. I've wanted to do this for so long. So I hope that helps with it a little bit. Or if you're in the business world already, I'm going to have some incredible business professionals on here, successful business professionals on here, whether it's CEOs, founders, entrepreneurs, whatever it may be. There's going to be some incredible people on here to provide their experiences, their insights, how they might be able to get started, or what advice they might have for others out there looking to get started in certain fields. I know I have a lot of friends and mentors that are really big on mindset, because that's something I'm big on. It's something that changed my life, having that positive mindset. It sounds so little, but it really just can really change your whole life around. So going to have amazing people on here to talk about that as well. So there's going to be a whole variety of guests on here, provide value and insight into so many different industries, fields, expertise, whatever it may be. Hopefully they can bring value and inspiration to you, because they bring incredible value and inspiration to me. And from talking to some people recently, I know there are a lot of people who are stuck, a lot of people who don't know where to get started, a lot of people who are even successful but just want to hear from others, because you can never learn enough. You're always learning. You're always growing as a person. And that's why I wanted to name the show Loading, because we're always looking to reach where we want to get to, but we're never fully there, never fully fulfilled. We're always essentially loading to get to where we want to get to. So that is the reason behind the name. So I hope that, first of all, you like the name, because it took me a while to come up with it. Something so simple, so dumb. It took me so long to come up with that. I literally spent at least a week trying to think of a name, but I came up with it. I thought it fits pretty well. So yeah, I hope you get a lot of insight. And if you know anyone, or if you are in the business world, or think you could bring insight or value to people, please reach out to me. I'd love to have you on, or talk about having you on, because as long as this impacts one person and brings value to one person, then I'm really doing what I want to do. That is my why. That is why I do what I do, why I do real estate, because I love getting to know people, connect with people, helping people with what arguably might be their biggest purchase ever, a house. So that's why I do that. That's why I wanted to do this, because I love to help people. And I know that the people that I'm going to bring on are going to provide inspiration and help others out there, because you could pick anything from anyone. You can really learn from anyone's experiences. So now, like I said before, this episode is going to be a little bit about my background, how I got to this point, how I got to starting this podcast. So I guess we'll start. For those of you who don't know, I am a real estate agent in Orange County, California. I've had my real estate license about almost 6 years now, but I've only been doing it full time for about a little over a year. But I've been in and out of it for those 6 years. I got my license when I was transferring from junior college, Golden West College, to Long Beach State, which is where I got a degree in business management, because my original plan when I was going to college was I wanted to get into sports management. Then I realized I am not good at school, and I just couldn't go back for more. I couldn't do more school. And sports management was a master's degree, so I'd have to go back another 2 years, and just not something I wanted to do. So I just got my bachelor's degree in business management, and when I graduated, I had no luck really finding work. So I decided to jump into real estate with work with my dad, who's been doing real estate for over 40 years now. So I was able to have that in, do some business with him. When I did it, it was cool. I was doing open houses. I thought I was dedicated, and I thought I was doing it for the right reasons, but I really didn't have a good reason why I wanted to do real estate. I just kind of did it because it's honestly really easy to get your real estate license, which I also had in the industry. I had my dad that I could learn from, and so we started working together. I did a deal, but after I got that first check, I got really lazy because I felt complacent, which turns out when you look back on it now, the complacency was, obviously it was bad, but it's just completely different where I am now to where I was then, even thinking about it now. I was complacent after I got my deal because I was set for a little bit. It was more money than I had been making before doing part-time jobs, so I was cool with it. So I stopped showing up. Everything started to fizzle away, which ended up not working out. I started not doing real estate, and I needed to find a job, so I started working part-time jobs. I did youth sports coaching, which was awesome and so rewarding because I love working with anyone, really. I love helping anyone, and especially kids. I loved working with kids. They're so awesome. The way they look up to you in that role is so incredibly rewarding for me. So I started to do the part-time coaching, which was awesome, was doing it. The money was good during the summers, but after the summers, the hours became a little inconsistent with school and everything. So ended up not really being that financially stable, which I was doing that until the pandemic hit, really, because I wasn't having any luck looking for jobs. I was actually, right before the pandemic was when I was starting to have my best success at job searching. I was starting to get third interviews, because I had gone to Ohio at the beginning of 2020 to visit family because my aunt and uncle live out there. And when I was out there, they really helped me put together a great game plan to start job hunting. So I started doing that game plan, was getting third and fourth interviews, was super excited about where that was going. I was about to find a job, even though it might not have been something I was passionate about. I was going in the right direction, which I thought was good, but I guess there were other plans for me because as soon as I got those third interviews, the pandemic hit. I lost every single one of those interviews. I lost my part-time job, which ended up being a blessing, even though I'm very incredibly grateful for that job. It ended up being a blessing. The pandemic hit because I was trying to find a way to get out of that job because I was feeling stuck and that there was no more room to grow. So I was trying to find a way out. The pandemic was the way out. Obviously, the pandemic has its pros and cons. For me, it was more of a pro because I was able to go on that unemployment, which down the line helped me start getting into real estate full time. So when that happened, I went on unemployment and obviously the world stopped, so I wasn't doing anything. I just started hanging out, trying to get through this difficult time for a lot of people being stuck when we didn't really know much about it. Then I really needed to try and figure out what I was going to do because my unemployment was starting to run out and I was starting to get super anxious, which ended up leading me to start becoming depressed. I started getting really depressed because it was hard for me to look for jobs. I was looking for jobs, but obviously no one was really hiring. It was around August, September of 2020, and no one was really hiring. So I just started to get down. My unemployment was running out. I had no future. I was just really down on myself. I didn't know where I was going. I didn't know what I was going to do. I was just in such a bad place. It was my lowest point of my life, no doubt. Just incredibly depressed, isolating myself, not knowing what I was going to do. Then my stepbrother came up to me one day and he said, "Hey, I think we're going to start looking for a house," because he has a wife and now 4 kids. So they were looking to find a house to, as they grow their family, find somewhere that they can call home, which I wasn't doing anything at the time. So I said, "Sure, I'll help you look." And this entire time, my dad had been telling me, "Derek, you have your license. Derek, you have your real estate license. Why don't you try real estate?" Because real estate was essential at the time. So it was essentially something I could go in and do. But I said, "No, I'm not going down that road again. I failed at it twice. It's not for me. I just don't want to do it." Then he comes up and asks me, and I said, "Sure, I can make a little bit of money here on this deal, help my stepbrother find him a house for his incredible family." So I ended up doing that, helping him look. But the number one thing that helped me do was go into the office. When I started going into the office as I was helping him look, because it was also another way for me to kind of get out of the house. And when I started going into the office, that is when everything changed. I started getting coaching. I started getting trainings. I started doing all these different things that just helped me be productive. I was tired of being stuck. And it took a big mindset change for me. It took really changing everything around. I was used to sleeping in, going to bed super late. I changed that to waking up early, starting a morning routine. That morning routine and the mindset that I worked on really changed my entire life. It really, truly did. When I started getting into the mindset and I started focusing on that, it was just the biggest blessing I could have ever done. And again, Diane, who's the person who encouraged me to start the podcast, she was the person that really started getting me into these trainings, into the mindset. And I can't thank you enough for that because it truly turned my entire life around. I also, because I was like, what's going to be different this time doing real estate than what it was last time? I came at it from a different approach. I came at it from, instead of just working for the deal, I came at it as I was wanting to build something. I was wanting to build a business. I figured out what I was passionate about. I was passionate about helping people. In working in real estate, helping people find their house is the biggest purchase a lot of people are going to make. And helping them with that is something, helping them find a home is just life-changing to so many people. So that was a big difference for me. I came from a place of providing value and helping others, which was such a blessing. I read a book called The Go-Giver. This book truly changed my entire life around. I cannot recommend this book enough. If you're listening to this, go get The Go-Giver if you haven't read it. It's a great book about business, but it's most importantly about providing value and being a giver rather than just taking and doing stuff for yourself. You start doing stuff for other people. That is what fulfills me. Doing things for other people, helping others is truly what I'm about, which is why I wanted to get into real estate, because helping people find a house, especially if it's the biggest investment they're going to make, is truly, truly rewarding. But not only that, it allows me to do so many other things, like this podcast. I started getting involved in mentorship programs at Long Beach State. I started doing all these other things because real estate, obviously you're doing your own business, and most of my time is dedicated towards building that real estate business. But it opens the door for so many other things that I'm passionate about. That is the thing I love about being my own boss and starting my own business, is I get to do other things that make me happy, but can also truly help other people. So I'm incredibly grateful for all the people who have helped me get to this point, helped me realize that real estate was the right path for me after numerous times going in and failing. It's not always going to happen overnight. It's not going to take one try or two tries. It could take you 3, 4, 5 tries. You never know what you can do unless you truly find the right reasons why you want to do it, which I ended up finding this time in real estate. And not only was it real estate, it was really truly finding stuff that I'm passionate about and doing things that make me happy, which is, again, going back to it, why I want to do the podcast. I want to help everyone out there truly find what they're passionate about, truly do what makes them happy. I want to provide the value to others to step outside of your comfort zone, do things that you might be scared to do, but you know it's going to benefit you in the long term. That's what it's about. Being stuck and doing stuff you're not happy about is not going to give you the best quality of life. Doing stuff you're scared to do, but you're passionate about, that is what's going to help you grow. And I hope that all these great guests that I have on are going to bring that insight, bring that inspiration, because from where I was back then to where I am now, I did things that made me uncomfortable. I stepped outside my comfort zone. I started to do things I'm passionate about, and it has turned my life around 180 degrees. I cannot be more thankful for the incredible people I have around me in my life, and I hope to bring some of them on that you can learn from them as well, because there are so many amazing people out there that want to help, that want to bring insight, provide value to other people. Sometimes people just don't know where to find them. I hope to bring some of those people on and find them for you to provide that inspiration, that motivation, that guidance to help you do things that are going to help you live your best life. So thank you for listening to the first episode. Like I said, every other episode is going to have people on. Talking to myself is an absolute nightmare. It is hard to do. So I'm glad I'm going to have other people on to talk to hear their stories. And hopefully I'm not just bouncing around. I'm going to get better at this, so bear with me. This is just episode 1. I am for sure going to get better at this. Again, I'm so nervous just doing this by myself. It still feels so weird. But I hope you at least got a little bit from this first episode. I know there's going to be fantastic things coming in the episodes to come. So if you can, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, The Derek Quinn. That is going to be where the podcast will be uploaded here. Also on anywhere you can find podcast, Apple Music, Spotify, whatever it may be. That is going to be where you can find this. So please listen to that. There's going to be great things coming. I hope you got a little bit out of it. And if there's anything that you want to talk about or that you're curious about, could use some insight about, please feel free to reach out to me anyway. Again, it's the Derek Quinn on all social medias. That's TheDerekQuinn on all social media. So reach out there. I'd be happy to try and address any questions you might have. This is for the people listening, not necessarily for me. So I want to answer any questions or anything you might be curious about when it comes to the world of business, self-improvement, your mindset. So again, hope you enjoyed it. Thank you if you made it this far, thank you for bearing with me, listening to it, giving it a try. I'm only going to get better. I'm so incredibly excited to be bringing this to you. Got a lot of great things coming. Be a friend and tell a friend about this podcast, because I know there's going to be a lot of people that are going to benefit so much from this. So again, thank you, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Peace.